One of the most revolutionary concepts of the way we study Torah was introduced to the Jewish world by Martin Buber. Besides Buber's qualities as a philosopher, Martin Buber, in his book Darko Shel Mikra, The Bible Way, presents a very important idea. It's called Mila Mancha, or in German, late word, or maybe in English, or kind of in English, guiding word. Martin Buber explains that every story in the Bible has a word that leads the whole narrative. In the case of the narrative of Abraham and Isaac in the Akedah, there is no doubt that the word with capital V is Hineni, usually wrongly translated as "here I am." The correct translation of Hineni is "I am ready." I often say that Hineni is not only the Mila Mancha, the guiding word, but also, or mainly, Hineni is the Jewish password. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob answered God with Hineni. Moses, in front of the burning bush, answered Hineni, "I am ready." Samuel the prophet, Isaiah the prophet as well, answered Hineni when God called them. Something magical happens when a person says Hineni, "I am ready." What is it about this word that is special that can be considered the Jewish password? Hineni is a call. The Chazan leads every year one of the most touching and beautiful prayers that starts with the word Hineni. Hineni is an answer. Hineni is the first answer that we ask to the first question ever in the Bible. God asked Adam and Eve, "Ayeka, where are you?" And the answer is, Hineni. Abraham had the answer, Hineni, "Here I am ready." Hineni is the word that can open many gates. God needs to hear the word Hineni before moving forward. If Abraham, Moses, Samuel, Jacob, Isaac would have answered differently, God must have not let them continue. Hineni is the world's first password ever. Hineni is a beautiful word, but I am not totally sure that Hineni would work well in these days as a good login password. In fact, Abraham in the Akedah, in the story we read today, says 3 times Hineni. 2 times he's ready for God, and 1 time he answers Hineni to his son. So maybe 3 Hineni could work as a password. Why not? As I said, Abraham said 3 times Hineni, "I am ready." Abraham was ready to act. Maybe 3 Hineni could work as an easy password to remember. So let me illustrate a little bit better what I mean by a good password with a story that happened to me this year. I had to change my password for security reasons in some of my account, and I imagine that happened to you as well. So here is what happened to me just a few weeks ago when I had to change my password. So I went to this site that was requiring me that I will change the password, so I typed potato. The answer was, "Sorry, password must contain at least 8 letters. Okay, I type boiled potato. "Sorry, password must contain at least 1 number. So I typed 1 boiled potato. "Sorry, password cannot contain spaces. Okay, so I typed 50, meaning 50 gosh darn boiled potatoes. "Sorry, password must contain capital letters." Okay, I type 50 gosh darn, all in capital, boiled potatoes. "Sorry, capital letter must not be consecutive." Okay, so I type, "I will make you eat 50 gosh darn boiled potatoes, comma, if you do not give me access immediately. Sorry, password must not contain punctuation. Oh my God. Okay, so I typed, now I am seriously getting upset. I will make you eat 50 gosh darn boiled potatoes if you don't give me access immediately. Sorry, you cannot change your password to a password that has been already used in the past with this account. Choose a new password. True story. In March, everything got closed. When everything got closed, I started to use again my Instacart account. So I needed to shop for groceries, but before I was able to use it, I had to update my password. In April, when the Zoom bombing started, I got used to send Zoom invitations with password. Then my Amazon account requested a refresh password. And for security reasons, one of my bank account changed password. This is another story. I tried to book a vacation place for my family to go on vacation. And I created an account on VRBO. Some people may have used that. So I had to create a username and password. Next day, I said to Patricia, my wife, why don't you check today for the vacation place? I am very busy. So she asked me, what is the password? So I say, try potato, or maybe 3 Hineni. All this seems funny until my teacher and friend, Rabbi Mario Roisman, shared with me an article that really struck me. It is called How a Password Changed My Life. The author, Mauricio Estrella, shared that back in 2011, he hit a particularly rough patch. He was in the middle of a divorce and dealing with a significant depression. One day, he came into his office and turned on his computer. Your password has expired, it read. Every single month, his work required employees to change their password with strict formatting requirements. To make things worse, whatever string of letters and numbers he came up with, it was always hard to remember. One more thing to make his life more difficult. One more thing to weigh him down. I was furious that morning, he wrote. I was late. I think I forgot breakfast. I needed to get things done before my 10 a.m. meeting, and all I have in front of me is a huge waste of time. Then he wrote, I remember a tip I heard from my former boss. Use your password to change your life. What did he mean? Instead of typing in a string of letters and numbers, choose a phrase that reminds you of something you are working on every time you log in into your computer, every single day. So Mauricio changed his password that morning to forgive at H3R. I wrote, forgive her, he reflected. Every day for a month. That simple action changed the way I looked at my ex-wife. The constant reminder led me to accept the way things happened at the end of my marriage and embrace a new way of dealing with the depression that I was drowning into. In the following days, my mood improved drastically. By the end of the second week, Mauricio noticed that he was starting to become dull to the impact, so he made another small change. Every time he typed the password, he said to himself, I forgive her. The healing effect of that small change was extremely profound. When the prompt appeared next month, your password has expired, he asked himself, what is his next challenge? What am I going to write now? Every day throughout the months that followed, his password reminded him that who he was and who he could be were not as far apart as he thought. So here is his reflection on the power of his passwords. At some point he typed slept at before 12. It worked for him. Then, one time, he wrote, eat 2 times at day. It never worked. He's still fat. Ask at her for a date. It worked. He says, I fell in love again. FaceTime to mom at Sunday. It worked. I talk with my mom every week, he wrote. And finally, on June 21st, he wrote, save for at ring. Save for a ring. And then he updated, she said yes. Small tweaks change lives. That is the truth with positive changes, and it is also true in reverse. So at some point during the pandemic, and after I read that article, I decided to change the password and use them to inspire me. Today, in this sacred day, I want to share 2 passwords I use now. The first one, number 1, is a word in German, the word Arbeit, work. I don't speak German. Ich red nicht, I would say. I imagine many of you know that Arbeit is the first word of the infamous phrase, Arbeit macht frei, that was in all the Nazi concentration camps but one. Work sets you free. Arbeit macht frei is the phrase on the famous sign over the entrance of Auschwitz. The original sign was engraved by John Lewis, a Jewish metal worker and prisoner in that camp. Why did I choose that word for my password? For many reasons. First and foremost, because when the SS ordered John Lewis to make the sign, he placed a hidden message in the word Arbeit. He turned the letter B upside down. I am sure after the holiday, you will go online and see the upside down B. Arbeit with the B upside down is a symbol of resistance and courage. Arbeit is a call to stand for who I am. Arbeit is a reminder that when the world is upside down, we can overturn it again and fix it. Arbeit means work. And when I type Arbeit as my password, it also reminds me of a different use of that word that comes from the place where my parents were born. In Mosesville, Argentina, in the middle of the farm, where many Jews who escaped from Europe built 5 synagogues in the middle of nowhere. There was one of them that was the Arbeiterschule, the shul of the workers, the shul of the poor people. The walls of that particular shul that I visited are still made out of mud and painted with a light blue color, like the sky, reminding them that what elevates you is not what you have in your pocket or where you studied or nor the car that you drive. What elevates you is your capability to bring the sky closer. It is who you are and what you stand for. Arbeit and the upside down B reminds me that COVID-19 can change many things, can affect many lives, but should not influence who you are and where you come from. We're people of resilience, hard work, bounciness, and defiance. And we, the Jewish people, are going to come out of this pandemic more committed to our tradition because we are the people of the upside down V, of the inverted V. The second password I used only a few weeks ago to reset my account was DuPont Farragut. Yes, you may be looking at me like I am in love with the red line of the metro. Trust me, I am not. I usually don't use the metro, and please Apologies to our congregant Steve Teitelbaum, who works for the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority. Sorry, Steve, but I don't use it very frequently. But whenever I take the metro, I try to learn who are the people honored in different stations. So last time I had to go to the Argentinian embassy, I needed to decide if I had to get off on DuPont or on Farragut. On the metro, I asked Rabbi Google for the answer. And I was interested in learning who these two guys, DuPont and Farragut, were. And who knew? They knew each other in the Civil War. Listen to the following story. Admiral DuPont had to deliver bad news to his superior. When Rear Admiral DuPont explained to his superior, Officer Farragut, the reason why he had failed to take his ships into the Charleston harbor, Farragut heard him through to the end, all the way, all the explanations, and then he said, Admiral DuPont, there is one explanation which you have not given. What is that? Asked DuPont. It is, you did not believe that you could do it. DuPont, Farragut. Can you do it? Do you believe in you? Every time I type DuPont and Farragut, I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to fulfill my dreams. I'm going to continue growing, improving, and learning. When I type DuPont Farragut, I know I have a mission I need to fulfill. I'm going to pass this pandemic with hope. DuPont Farragut reminds me of the philosophy of the psychologist Carl Jung. Jung's vision of therapeutic analysis says, it is a matter of saying yes to oneself, of taking oneself as the most serious of tasks. DuPont Farragut reminds me I need to believe in who I am. In Rosh Hashanah, we gather to pray and to make a very clear statement that we believe. We believe in God. We believe in the Jewish people. We believe a better year is possible. We believe we can change. Let's use our passwords to change. This year, let's try to choose carefully our passwords. It doesn't matter if we choose a secular password as DuPont Farragut, or Arbeit that reminds us of Auschwitz, or maybe a religious password. We need to choose a password that reminds us truth we do not want to forget. The passwords can be a tool to cope with this pandemic. We are inside of our homes, working from home tirelessly. Kids don't go to school in person, and we need constant reminders that life will be normal again. This year, change your passwords. What is your next password? I hope it's 365 Hineni, or if you go by the Jewish calendar, 354 Hineni. Every day we should say, I am ready, Hineni, like Abraham did. I am ready to make a change. I am ready to live with the pain of a pandemic, and at the same time, I am ready for a better tomorrow. The year has changed, and with it, also our passwords. May we all be inscribed in the book of life. May we all say Hineni every day of our lives.